Hi all, it's Kim with Rejuvenate Raw with Kim, and I've had a lot of requests to show how I clean our fruits and vegetables. And a lot of people asking, why do you clean them? They're organic. Well, actually, organic fruits and vegetables are still really dirty. They have bacteria, they have parasites, and when we think about where they came from, hopefully they were washed before they were put on the truck, but once they're put on the truck, they could have fell on the floor, they go to the store, they're put in storerooms, who knows what happens to them in those locations. So I just err on the side of caution because I definitely do not want to be putting any of that stuff in my body. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing we need is a large tub. And you know, I started off doing this, washing fruits and vegetables in like a small bowl, and it took me hours and hours with all the produce we buy. So I finally got smart, went to Walmart, picked up this big tub, and I can do so much more in such a smaller amount of time. So I highly recommend getting a larger tub to do it. And then we have apple cider vinegar and peroxide. I have a sharp knife and my ozone machine right here. Got it off of Amazon. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. So we want to get started, and what we do first is I just use my filtered water. We have a whole house filtering system. Turn it on. I just lay it across the sink so it makes it easy for cleanup and easy for filling. And as the water goes in, I will add my apple cider vinegar. It's funny, I don't really measure anything. I probably put in about a half of a cup, and then several squirts of peroxide, 3 big squirts of that, and you can set it out of the way. And then we are going to let our tub fill. All right, see you back in a minute. Okay, our tub is nice and full, and so now we are going to add our fruits and vegetables. So my husband loves salads, so we always get him some greens, and this is romaine lettuce. So I'm just going to take off the little binder there, and then I cut off the end of the lettuce just like this. And I like to separate all these leaves, and that way we can make sure that it is cleaned thoroughly, because as we know, there are bugs that lodge in between those leaves. So I just kind of spread all those out, make sure they're all taken off individually, and then submerge them. Okay? And then we have our grapes, our organic red grapes. And so I'm just gonna dump them all in there, easy. Okay, so it's fine to put everything all together. And we have our tomatoes. As you can see, we eat a lot of tomatoes. I make a tomato dressing for, I make spiralized zucchini cucumber salad. It is so good, but it does take a lot of tomatoes. So if there is a tag on something, I take it off. Or sometimes you have to cut it off. I do not want that residue from the tag on my produce. So I'm very careful to remove all that. So again, just remove the tag and stick it in the tub with everything else. And we have some apples. So we're gonna open these up. And once again, I just put them in with everything else. So it's really easy. I just put as much in there as I can, and then we can get things going. All right, I'll continue to fill it up. Be right back. Okay, so our ozone has turned off, and we're ready for the next step. So I'm going to remove the ozone hose and the aerator and just set it aside. And then next, I'm gonna take our apples and our tomatoes, and I'm just gonna rinse those off and set them in a bowl so I can take them over to where I'm going to dry them. And then as far as the lettuce, I wanna make sure that these are rinsed really well. And what I do is I pull back all these leaves to make sure everything's exposed, and I rinse. Once you take it out of the water, you'll see it has kind of a slimy feel to it, and my guess is that's from the ozone. So I just rinse until that slimy feel is gone. And then I put it right into my salad spinner, because before we dry, I want to make sure I get off as much water as I can, because who wants wet lettuce? And it stays fresh a lot longer in the refrigerator if it's really dry. All right? Okay, so here's our water after we've taken everything out. I know it's a little hard to see, but if you look close, you can see the residue, the dirt. There's a few bugs in here. A lot of times the parasites are microscopic, so we're not gonna be able to see those, but rest assured they are there. So it looks like we got a pretty good cleaning. Okay, look at our beautiful goodness on the table. I've emptied our tub, brought everything over, we spun the salad, it's fairly dry, but we're just gonna let everything dry out a little bit more. And I found a really good way to do this to make it go a lot easier and faster. What I do is I line the bottom of the paper towels with a bath towel, because what I found is if I just lay out paper towels is they get so wet, I end up changing them a few times. So when I put bath towels underneath, it actually absorbs the moisture and I don't have to change them at all, so it's great. So we'll let these sit for an hour, maybe two, maybe half a day, depending on what I have to do. And when they are dry, I have my HDPE bags, and people are like, what? You put these in plastic bags? Why are you using plastic? Plastic is toxic. Well, not actually. When I first got sick, I worked with a doctor from Dr. Hulda Clark. She's one of the pioneers of natural healing, and they did a lot of testing. And what they found is HDPE plastic was very safe to use. So I ordered these off Amazon, really cheap. Comes in a big roll, and we just, when they're ready, we just bag them up, kind of just twirl it around, and put them in the refrigerator, so nice and easy. So all together, washing the vegetables and drying them, putting them away, we have a lot, so it usually takes me about a half a day, but it's not like I'm just doing that the entire time. I might be working on the computer, talking on the phone, whatever I need to do, and so it's just kind of going back and forth. So, okay, I hope this helps. And if you would like more pointers, please like my page, my Facebook page at Rejuvenate Raw with Kim. I post on there a couple times a day. So in the meantime, enjoy some fruit.